Саламатсыздар ма? Менің есімім Айдарбекова Гульмира Сауытбековна. Мен Абай атындағы Жамбыл гуманитарлық жоғарғы колледжінің шетел тілі ПЦК оқытушысымын. Бүгінгі біздің қарастыратын видео сабағымыздың тақырыбы Reading for Pleasure, Robinson Crusoe. Today's our theme is Reading for Pleasure, Robinson Crusoe. Lesson objectives: to read and ask and answer questions about bibliography, to read background information for specific information, to analyze characters, to learn about setting and symbolism. The words of wisdom for today is: reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. How do you understand this quotation of Joseph Edison? When we exercise our body, we grow stronger. So I think Edison is saying, what if we read? Our minds will go stronger too. Okay, what do you like to read in your free time? Fantasy, realistic fiction, adventure, historical fiction, science fiction, horror, mystery, fantasy. There are a lot of genres in literature, so you can read any of them. And which are your favorite or least favorite types of books, and why? Use the ideas below and your own. For example, my favorite types of books are fantasy and science fiction because they are imaginative. I'm not keen on mystery novels as I find them predictable and dull. Write about your own favorite types of books. And today we will discuss about The Adventure of Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. Despite its simple narrative style, Robinson Crusoe was well received in literary world and is often credited as marking and beginning of realistic fiction as literary genre. The original title of Robinson Crusoe was The Life and Strange Surprising Adventures of Robinson Crusoe of York Mariner. I think the title of the book was changed because it was too long. It's good to have a longer title because it let people know what the book is about before they read it, so they can decide if they want to buy it. On the other hand, having a longer title is bad because it's too hard to remember. Also, in the case of Robinson Crusoe, the longer title gives away the ending of the story. And the author of Robinson Crusoe, Daniel Defoe. Why is Daniel Defoe considered the father of the English novel? Let's read the biography to find out. Daniel Defoe was an important English writer born in London, England. As a young man, he traveled a lot around Europe as a merchant and wrote for many magazines and newspapers. His first and best-known novel was Robinson Crusoe, which was published in 1719, when Defoe was 59 years old. Other famous novels include Moll Flanders and Roxana. They are all about people who are in difficult situations and struggle through life, whether physically, financially, or spiritually. Also, many parts of Defoe's personal life remain unknown. A great deal of his writing has survived, and he has had an incredible influence on English literature. Robinson Crusoe, for example, is one of the first examples of the novel in the English language, with some elements that would become standards of the new genre, such as a quite eventful and realistic plot. It is for this reason that Defoe is often called the father of the English novel. I think we find out the answer for our previous question. Daniel Defoe is considered the father of the English novel because he wrote one of the first novels in the English language. And let's answer the questions about Daniel Defoe. Where and when was Daniel Defoe born? Of course, he was born in London, England. What did he do as a young man? Yes, he traveled around Europe. How old was Defoe when his first novel was published? He was 59 years old. Very good. New vocabulary: cave, a natural hole in a cliff, mountain, and etc. Manage, to succeed in doing something by trying hard. Survive, to continue to live. Conclude, to realize something based on evidence. Confused, not understanding something. Observe, to notice something. Your task is to write down these new words and make up your own sentences with them. The next. What difficulties a person might face on a desert island? Weather, loneliness, clean water, boredom, clothing, animals, food. Robinson Crusoe is set on an island because Defoe needed his main character to be somewhere that he could live in a complete isolation, but still survive. The same story could take place in another remote setting, like a mountain range or a vast grassland, but the character would find it much harder to survive in these places. Also, the character could try and work to the civilization. Defoe used an island because there is no escape unless a ship passes by. And so Crusoe lived there for 27 years, and he had some difficulties with these things. Let's read the text. Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe.
Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe was a very brave young man who loved adventures. When he was 19 years old, he left his home and went on to travel in sea. While traveling, there was a great storm and the ship started to sink. Robinson managed to reach up the land. When he woke up, he found that he was not alone.
Oh, little fellow.
The little dog was also saved in the storm.
Looks like we both are left all alone. Come, let's explore the place.
Robinson found the wrecked ship. He took some food, guns, clothing and tools from the ship. He made a tent and lived in it. He erected a wooden cross and carved the day on it. Thereafter, he was able to keep a calendar. Robinson found several kinds of goats and hares which he shot and ate. When he explored the island further, he found melons, apples and lime trees.
These fruits will keep me alive.
One morning,
Help me! Somebody help!
That fellow must be in danger.
he took out his gun and shot twice. The tribesmen were scared, left the young fellow and ran away.
Why did those men try to kill you?
We are all tribesmen. But these group of men kill people and eat them. Today they have caught me.
What is your name?
We don't have names.
Since we have met on a Friday, I will call you Friday. At last, I have a human friend.
Robinson thought Friday to shoot and eat civilized. They lived happily until one day.
Master, there is a ship coming this side.
What? A ship coming to this island? We have to be careful. Come on, let's hide and see.
3 men got down from the ship. They had 2 other men with hands tied up.
Now come on, Captain. Give us the keys or we will have to kill you.
So what I thought is correct. The pirates have taken the ship.
Robinson and Friday waited till the pirates relaxed. Then they attacked them. They shot dead all the pirates.
Thank you, gentlemen, for saving our lives. How did you come to this island?
Robinson narrated the whole incident.
Don't worry, we can now live in my ship.
At last, after 28 years, 2 months and 19 days on the island, Robinson was rescued. They all set sail for England. Robinson started his life once again. Friday stayed with him. After many years, the urge for adventures drove Robinson to set again for another voyage. But this time, he had his companion Friday with him.
Okay, After reading the text, let's find the answers for these questions. Why did Crusoe run away from home? Where was Crusoe going when his ship was wrecked and why? Where did he end up? Who is Friday? How long did he stay in the island? The possible answers are: he ended up on a desert island because ship was hit by a storm. Friday is a prisoner that Crusoe rescued from natives. He becomes Crusoe's servant and friend. He stayed on the island for 27 years. Crusoe wanted to be a sailor, but his father wouldn't let him go to sea, so he ran away from home. When his ship was wrecked, Crusoe was going to Africa to buy some slaves. Okay, let's do this task. Why did Crusoe run away from home? As I remember, he wanted to become a sailor, but his father wouldn't let him go to sea, so he ran away from home. Where was Crusoe going when his ship was wrecked and why? When his ship was wrecked, Crusoe was going to Africa to buy some slaves. Okay, where did he end up? Of course, he ended up on a desert island because his ship was hit by a storm. Who is Friday? Yes, Friday is a prisoner that Crusoe rescued from the natives. He becomes Crusoe's servant and friend. And how long did he stay in the island? Yes, he stayed on the island for 27 years. Good job. Let's check. Yes, we are right, yeah? The next task is complete the gaps with the correct words. The first word is the most important event in the story. Yes, it is, of course, climax. How the story ends? Yes, you know it, yeah? That it is resolution. And events that make up a story? Yes, it is plot. Where and when the story takes place? Yes, it is setting. And people who take part in the story, of course, they are characters. And the main character in the story, yes, it is protagonist of the story. Then the feelings the story creates in reader, of course, it's mood. And the person who tells the story, yes, it is narrator. And the first or third person, its point of view. And then the last, a narrative passage that takes the reader back in time, it is flashback. Very good. The next. Your task is use the adjectives from the list to complete the diagram. You can use loyal, open, clever, innocent, brave, or you can use your own words to complete the Venn diagram. It is writing task for you. Yes, you should find the similarities and difference between these two characters using these adjectives. So let's answer my questions. Who is the protagonist of the story? And what can you say about the other characters? Who is the narrator? What is the author's point of view? Where is the story set? What feelings does the author create in the reader? Answer these questions in written form. Then, as a production, we should complete the chart. We should write about rising action, climate, plot, falling action, resolution, protagonist, antagonist, theme, exposition in their right order. For example, narrative analysis. First of all, you should write about characters. Robinson Crusoe, Friday, Surrey, Portuguese captain, Spaniard, and the protagonist is Robinson Crusoe himself, who also narrates the story. Yeah? You should write about the place, about the time, and events in order, where the exposition is writing action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So we will have narrative analysis. It is a writing task for you as a production. Write this narrative analysis. And of course, your home task will be write a review of the novel for the college magazine. It's exercise 18 from your student's book at page 94. Use appropriate conjunctions. Watch the film Robinson Crusoe 1997, directed by Rod Hardy and George Miller. Compare film to novel. So thank you for your attention. The lesson is over. Goodbye.